I got no idea what key works for this lock. Don't you hate using keys? This is another episode of DIY with Danny. Today we're going to show you how to get rid of this old school key and lock system. We're going to put a Yale lock system in here. It's going to eliminate needing keys. You'll be able to punch in the keypad, bring your friends in remotely. It's super dope. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so now that I never have to use a key here again, I'm pretty excited about that. Step one is going to be go ahead and take the strike plate off. Now this should come out. This is going to fall off here. We'll grab that together. We'll hold on to that, put it in our back pocket, and then we're going to remove the two back screws off of this section here. And once we remove these two screws, this is going to be completely loose, so you'll see how this comes apart. Just like that, and just like that. Now we're ready for our install of our new Yale lock system. All right, so main key is when you do a Yale lock system, you want to have a dummy door on the bottom, which means no key. What's the point of doing all this if you still got to use a key? So we're eliminating keys here in this series. So use a dummy door. You don't want somebody to be able to lock this. You come up, you show up, now you got the key for this, forget it. We're going to the Yale lock system, no key needed. Use a dummy door on the bottom. All right, so we have all of our components laid out. When you open up the box, you want to take everything out, make sure you have everything. Batteries are important, doesn't work without batteries. Okay, so step one, we're gonna take our strike plate here and we're going to go ahead and put it inside and install that first. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. One thing you wanna look out for is there's this little arrow here. Make sure that's pointing up. That's gonna be a big factor in whether or not this all comes together properly. So this just goes into this slot here that's already pre-bored out from the old hole. And then they provide you with two screws. So we're gonna go ahead and put these two screws in here. One thing you wanna make sure of too is you don't over tighten this. Because if you over tighten it and put too much pressure, it could actually flex this plate. So you wanna tighten it enough, just snug, and then one little turn. All right, so the next step in this process is we're gonna take these two components and we're gonna attach them together on the door, and you'll see how easy that is. All right, so now that we have this portion in, we have the front portion with the cable, and then we have the back plate that connects to each other. So this actually slides through the bottom section. Just fits right in here like this. And then this portion of the cable needs to fit through this channel here at the bottom. So you want to slip that in and then pull it through. And then this all connects together. There's two pins here at the bottom. So you have to hold it with the front side of your hand, pull the slack out. Now these two are connected, and then you take these two bolts here that you have and you run them into the back side of the plate. You want to get it a little bit snug at first, and then you can tighten them up all the way. All right, so before you go ahead and tighten it up all the way with the screws in the backside, you're gonna wanna get a visual from the front if it's square. And you still have, right now, you still have the ability to turn it right or left depending on what is plumb and square. Once you feel confident that it's all dialed in and straight up and down, then you can bring it back and go ahead and tighten it up. Like I said again, you just don't wanna over tighten this. It doesn't need to be over tightened like if you're putting the tires on your truck or something like that. Just nice and snug, that's all you need. All right, so the last thing that we're gonna install is the main brain of our system, our Yale system here. This has all the components, all the boards for you know, speaking to your Wi-Fi, things like that. And then also, this is where you plug in the cable. We have batteries that we gotta plug in here, and then this is the cap. So let's go ahead and show you how to put this part on the door. All right, so now that we have the brains of our Yale lock system, we're going to go ahead and plug this in. That allows for this line diggy to speak to the board here. So you can see we have this little section here where this clips under. So we want to get that in there. Actually, let's put this in here first. That snapped in. Boom, perfect. Get this underneath. Boom, boom, shakalaka. And then we have a little bit excess here, and now what we got to do is we got to take this section and feed this into here. Let's do that. Perfect. Okay, so as you can see, there's two little holes here, and we're going to go ahead and attach this to the plate. Once you get that lined up, should screw it nice and tight. Now, don't over tighten it. Remember, like I said, there's a time and place for things to be tight, and it's not in this Yale lock system. Cool, so we got this connected. All right, so we're gonna put the batteries in. For those that are not too familiar with batteries, you see the spring side. I just say like that's the flat side, and then you see this side with no spring, that's the plus side. So you have a minus spring, plus, put it in there, spring, minus, and it tells you to, if you're not, you know, can't remember, minus on the spring side and minus on that side. Boom. See the blue light? That means we're good, ready to pair. Take this little cover, slip it on. There you go, it's ready to program. All right, so this is probably the most important thing where people really struggle with, because you get all excited, you put it in, and you go to close it, and it closes manually, like if you really crank on it. But what you want to do is you want to really, if you're sensitive about it and you just turn it, and there's no friction on this plate, that's what you want. So this should open and close without friction. If there's any bind, this is not a jet motor here. This is not going to force its way into the hole. So you got to have a clean, nice, this door has to be right in the position to where there's not much pressure. All right, so this installation went really well. Just to show you how this works, when you leave, you hit this Yale button. Boom, the lock pops out, you're good to go. When you get in, you hit the Yale button, punch in your code. This comes with the factory preset, but you can set it up to whatever code you want. You just scan the barcode on the back of the box, get it set up. So like I said, you just hit the button, now you're good to go. Come back in, punch the code in, opens up, no more keys needed. All right, that was another episode of DIY with Danny. Hope you enjoyed it, the no keys necessary episode. So be sure to comment below if there's any DIY hacks you want to see. Also, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.